he starts claiming he's insecure about me relating with other people. And me being a good girlfriend, I said, what? Okay, here are my socials. You can have them. Okay, here's my email password. Here's my Instagram. Here's my Facebook. Okay, he literally had access to everything so that he can see I ain't doing anything fishy.
In you doing that, were you doing it as part of being a loyal girlfriend? Because I actually think there's a big difference between being stupid and being loyal. So I don't know, what's the difference? What's the difference?
Okay, I was stupid. From my side, I would say I was stupid. Because how on heaven's name will you just give someone your passwords? Kumbuka, this is also M-Pesa we're talking about. This is M-Pesa we're talking about.
Maybe you're naive?
That is being stupid.
You just love
no, that is being stupid.
You are watching TheArtsinHeart, your home of authentic conversations.
Welcome to Elimishwe kwa maswala ya jamii. Tutumbuize sana mbalimbali, tujuze juu ya matukio ya kila pembe, wapa burudani kwa familia nzima.
Good evening. And somebody just decided this thing cannot start. Okay. What an entrance with a backstage. Good evening. My name is Liquiani Elio. Welcome to my perspective, rather your perspective. It's Tuesday, and on Tuesday we discuss anything and everything pertaining men and women without forgetting children. Tonight is not any special because we'll be discussing much more about work-life balance. You know, things changed when COVID happened, and for the first time we realized that actually daddies could work from home, leave alone moms who are always available to the calls when children are all over making noise. To start ourselves, let's have one Muhonja Africa. I believe she's ready for us. Good evening, Muhonja. How are you tonight? Yeah, mimi ndio nakusikia ama wewe ndio unisikii. One of us is not hearing one another. Okay. Ninajua technical inafanyia ile kitu. Hebu angalia hapo kwa audio alafu tuangalie maneno. But you're looking beautiful, Mwanja. You're looking beautiful. Let's see if you can hear me. African man, good evening. African man, if you can hear me, good evening. Kindly unmute. African man, good evening to you. If you can hear me, kindly unmute. Okay, hapa kuna kitu inaendelea. Godwin, can you hear me? Good evening.
Good evening, Eli. I can hear you. I hope you can hear me as well.
I think African man has no idea that we are on the show, but it's okay. It's fine. Karibu sana, Godwin. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank God. Leo niko salama. Jana I almost died, but today I'm okay. Thank God.
That's great. Okay, let's see if Muhonja can speak back to us. Muhonja, good evening. Angalia settings ya microphone alafu rudi. Let's see. African man, are you back on set? Ama you're still having a holiday?
I'm just here. I was putting up some other sound that was not unwanted. It was
unwanted. Admiring yourself.
Yes. But thank you.
Yeah,
we are ready to run. So our viewers, thank you very much for being here today. It's quite a sensitive topic, so I'm a bit nervous, but we will get there. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to run.
Awesome. Karibuni sana. And if you guys are having trouble hearing one of us, let us know so that we are able to have a communication. Gentlemen, working from home has been an experience for a lot of you, if not all of you, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic. And a lot of dads, for the first time, spent home time with their children. But do you think it revised the workload that we are having at work in the name of making time available for all of us? Aya, naambiwa kuna shida ya sauti hapa. You guys will help me around. I don't know what we're gonna do because this is crazy. Gordon, if you can handle this for some time, please.
Okay, no worries, Ellie. So, Matasio, today, you know what we're discussing? We're discussing about working from home and the challenges that the whole scenario brings with it. Because in a normal family setup, you find you are used to one of us or all of us working from our workstations, our normal workstation, that is prior COVID. But now COVID came and it came with its own challenges, and people had to adapt to the new normal where to deal with the social distancing thing, people had to start working from home or rather remotely. And now this brought up a big challenge because we saw statistics bring out that many families actually separated during that time because you are having too much time together, and at that the time you start noticing so and so does this and that. But now our main focus today is on the work that we do at home. For instance, I am working, at an office somewhere. My better half stays at home or she works, but for some reason she comes home early. So there are those expectations that I usually have when I come home. I have to find ABCD has been done. But now this time roles have been reversed. You're working, yes, you're working, but you're working from home. Your better half is working now from the office, and she comes, she expects the same, but you feel it's too much to ask. Matasio, what do you think about this whole scenario?
I think, first of all, when people think that working at home has been brought by COVID, then I also understand it's because of the old traditional brainwashed way we've been thinking. Working is leaving the house and going to office and all that. In that mindset, it will be very difficult to explain to someone and even to get to a track. So I will not go that line, but I'll just go much more to work and family life. I think the most important thing here is when it comes to working at home, it is the value, the norms and the values that you have at home. You understand? And it doesn't matter what kind of work it is. Even that one of some let's say something like a home administration, you know, just end of the month, paying the bills, whether you've worked or not, just sitting down, calling, making the bills, making sure the house has been repaired. It doesn't matter. That's a very serious job. That's a very serious job, and you have to do it at home. And if you're busy with that, it is not also easy to cook in between and do all those things in between. So for me, my view is we deviate from the family norms and values, which create us to make our own family traditions or rituals. For example, when you start to work home, how do you work home? Some people work at home, they just wake up and put on their computer, do whatever they do, and they start. But there are some people you cannot focus. You wake up, you go take a shower, you come sit on your desk, and you start your job. You treat your room, your working place, just as you treat the office. You wake up, you get ready, you put yourself in that mindset. But there are some people who do different. But it's also nice to work at home and just work in your pajamas. It's also a possibility. So it all depends on how everybody puts the value of their job and the value of their family and the value of their house calls. So when we know that, so we cannot even think this thing of working at home has been a tradition. So many people have started working at home. Those people start their own companies, small company businesses. You start to work at home. You wake up in the morning, you call clients, you do whatever you do. You leave the house, you deliver something there, you come back. There are people who are doing business from the house. So for me, it is much more that does your spouse value your work? That's the most important thing. Because if you know very well that I'm on a phone and I'm talking to a client, doesn't matter whether it's only the time I'm home or whatever. I can even have an office, but I'm at home today. Maybe it's a business telephone call. It's a work call. You will not expect, I will not interrupt you if my partner is having a call and it's dinner time and it's business time, she has to do that time. Of course, I will take over the other call and help her do her job, for her to be able to do her job. So for me, the core point is we must have the right norms and values for our partner's engagement. You understand? If you don't value her job, you just like her money, you're also wrong. If you just, so that is where it all lies. So for me, it's also normal. When you come home, be it your partner, be it somebody, be it even a housemate or whatever, if you understand what they're going through, you will also think for yourself if they will do the other communal thing. Because the priority is that individual role he has to do, because that is what brings bread on the table. And then there's what you have to do for the family. So for me, the balance there is much more important if you prioritize your norms and values.
Welcome back, Ellie. I think your audio is now okay.
I hope you guys can hear me, or I'm
Now,
not bursting
you're
my ears.
okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
That's why it's good being that's why it's good being a Luo once in a while. You can use this gadget or use the other gadget and discuss about business.
And
So
but
now
we say
I'm on my autopilot gadget. Mwonja, good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Awesome. Let's just have this conversation. And guys, thank you so much for holding it there with us. I hope Lamont, now you can hear me. Says bad audio, now it's fixed. Good and good to go. Liz Ngash, thank you so much for being here. Hey to you. I see Princess Ola anasema good evening. Sauti iko juu kiasi. Okay, tumepunguza. Beverly Wekesa, karibu sana. Good evening. Our guys, yes, the man in the house, in the building. Na ninaona Norina anasema tuned in. So Muonja, umesikia Kinya Matasi amesema, I was backstage but I was listening to all of you guys, and Matasi has mentioned quite some important points. You can't expect him to tend to children when he's supposed to be doing his official calls. As a mother, you expect her actually to multitask. How do you find this double-sided sort of conversation?
Thank you for having me, first of all, Eli. Good to see you, Godi. Good to see you, African man. You're smiling because you already know what I will say. And that is, there's nothing like I am supposed to multitask. Nothing like that. We are conditioned to think that struggle is beautiful. For a woman who has struggled and toiled the whole day until she's smelling of some kind of weird jasho here and there. Now that's the kind of woman that people want. And I want to tell you that it is just wrong. It is wrong. You've been conditioned to think that when I come back in the evening, I'm supposed to again put my work behind and then start working. I will give you an example. For men, it is different. You can go to work at your place of work, and then before you come back home, you pass by a bar where you drink your friends, and then you say you're relieving yourself from the pressure of work, and then you come back home in the evening. You expect to see your children sleeping, wamewekwa kwa kitanda vizuri. You expect to find the house clean. You expect to get your food warm and hot, and this is at 3 a.m. in the morning. You've not done anything, you've not communicated, and then you come and sleep, and then you tell me, sisi wanaume, we do a lot of work. Excuse me, for heaven's sake, we do a lot of work ourselves. I think you people should understand this fact of, I was watching a certain video of a guy who said for the longest time he had always complained when he came home to a dirty house after the wife gave birth. And one time he decided to teach this wife a lesson by saying, you think I can't do all this? Then give me the chance. And he told the wife to go home to her parents for a few hours, and then he would call her. Let me tell you, 1 hour didn't last, because first and foremost, the baby is crying. He had two babies. One baby is crying from side A. The other one is crying from side B. You've finished dressing side B. Side A is busy inside the water tank, drinking the tank, the water from the tank. You're still
not even the water. I was drinking the tank.
He was drinking the tank. You've not finished. This one has homework. You've not finished. Your husband, who is so drunk with his friends, is calling to ask you what you've made for supper. And he called the wife and he said, I'm so sorry. I've been really, really underestimating the job that you do. And in this case, working at home, I really love the fact that COVID brought this idea of you can work from home. And it is because that is when, even when the curfew was lifted, women were like, please, Uhuru, return it, because our husbands were coming home on time But now that you've lifted the curfew, now they've found the freedom to do whatever they can do. So what Matasia is saying, like division of labor, I think it's good. You should now get into our shoes and feel how it feels to stay at home. You know, you think we just stay and watch Nigerian movies at home. And for men, naturally, men are very lazy creatures, if you people do not know. I don't even know how Godi is working from home, because I know Godi for 10 years, and we were speaking about this, and he said, yeah, from home, he can't do it. So I think, Godi, your second half is just suffering. And this is not about toxic feminism, apana. I know you, Godi, for 10 years.
Well, Godi, you want to give a rejoinder, because Matasi is listening and is like, I can't wait to dispute
let me just talk to
Muhonja.
One thing, to be honest, I want to first appreciate women, because these are the strongest creatures I've seen, and only not to agree with Muhonja that men are lazy, because we are not unless you know some that are lazy.
We need to ask Muhonja, who are you dating?
Who are you dating?
Mine is not lazy.
Yeah, I know. But honestly, like women, I came to appreciate women, because at some point I used to work in the office, and then there was a time I had to work from home, you know. So, and you see the work someone is doing, and you're like, is this what you do every day I'm at the office? Because, you know, you come back in the evening, you find everything is set, and you're like, it's normal. But now, there's a time, now the roles were reversed, where now she was at work and I was at home. That time I just lost my first job, you know. And not that I was under pressure to do, but, you know, the guilt that, you know, I've been in the house, I've been at home the entire day. So you would expect to find the house.
I don't want to be rude or sound rude, but it is my feeling, and this is a general feeling, that women will guilt trip you if you do not go out to secure the bag and stay home to just sit and lazy because you lost a job. So you are entitled. You are rather. They make you feel like you must clean that house. You must sweep around to look like you are doing or contributing to that house well-being.
Do you know what I used to do? I used to do that 20 minutes before she comes home. So at that time, I'm fumbling with sweeping, washing utensils, and you know, for me, I can wash utensils for like 3 hours, and I'm having 20 minutes to do all that. So, but at least she'll find me when I'm busy, you know. And then the whole point is, she'll come, you've done, at least for you see you've done something, but the first thing she notices are mistakes. This is not supposed to be here. This is not supposed to be. And you're like, how could I know this? You know. But at that point, I appreciate, and I know what they go through.
Ellie, can I say something?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the same as if I am staying at home. If I'm a stay-at-home mom, you will come back home when I've done all the chores. At least I'm not like Godi, where I'm waiting for my husband to come 20 minutes to my husband, and then now I start cleaning, you know. I'll come up with a plan. That is why, you know, you people are very angry. We were very angry when you say when the court said that even a stay-at-home mother is at work. That is job. Because you see, Godi himself says he is not a lazy person, but staying at home, he could not do all those things. He had to wait for his partner to Caribbean 20 minutes for him to come. Yeah. And you understand now, for us, these are the expectations of the society. And for me, in my case, if I am the one working, if I am the one doing everything in terms of going to the office and doing all that, please let me come home to warm food. The same standards that you people have when you're giving us, I want to come home to come home. In fact, welcome me as I enter the house with a smile on your face. Are you listening, Godi? Take notes. You should welcome me with a smile on your face. Yes, like that. And then there's warm food, there's aroma, and then you should be looking good for me, you know, because I'm working. And you've been staying at home. You had all the time to dress and smell nice and all that. So please, if I am the one who's working, please, the chores are yours. I will not go outside and work my ass off and then come back here and then start working again and taking care of the children while you are there. It is okay. If you lost your job, it's okay. I do understand. But then you mourn for one day, and then life goes on. No one is going to sit there and start thinking about, oh, I lost my job. And that's one thing that people do all the time. I lost my job,
And I
and then
think
now
somebody
they stay.
decided
You lost your job,
Mwanga
fine. Look
is
for other
over-engaging.
alternatives that you can do. The same way you people do not want us to stay at home as women. And
I'm sorry, I believe we lost Muonja for some time there. Let's just get that fixed. Meanwhile, let's read some comments here. Wanjiku Kagwe says, the one we have is Matasio Kagwa. Okay, you know, these names are confusing. Wanjiku Kagwe, if your spouse doesn't understand that home office is the same as going to work, they are lost. Okay, Muhonja looking great, and she's actually looking fabulous tonight. I hope Lamont, we've been able to resolve that. If you're watching us, let us know how you are receiving our audio quality and transmission tonight. Again, earlier on, Wanjiku said, work is work, whether working home or not. What are weekends for? We can clean and do other family activities together. Okay. Njakita Hayes says, hi, during COVID-19, I worked 100% at home, and this is for almost 2 years now. Between the spouse and children, I became crazy. You must handle house chores, your work, children education, all in the same time. And with all that, no support or little support from your man. Can you imagine? We will have to call that guy for a meeting. But Matasio, what do you want to say about this before Muhonja comes back to support this emotion?
Yeah, it's a pity that I have to react when Mohonja is away, but I will spare the question for when she comes back. But I think
she's here
when
for
I
you.
open
She's just in time.
Oh, she's just in time. You see, my dear Mohonja, sometimes when you discuss, I just pray and I hope that these men you are talking about are not the men that you know, are actually maybe people you meet from your work or whatever. Because all these men that you have mentioned, they are also women like that. They are also mothers who stay in the bar until 3 o'clock in the night. That is true fact. This man who you say, for example, just give a very clear, even our own president. For me, there is nothing new by going to sit there and signing something saying polygamy is now legal. It has always been legal anyway. You understand? The only thing I'm seeing is us failing to communicate, basically. Failing to communicate. The same one you tell me, oh, if I do a job, if I'm the one working 5 to 8 to 5 o'clock and I come home, I want a warm welcome and I want what and what. And again, at the same time, you are opposing men who are working 5 to 9 and also want the same thing. So it only says we are looking at the roles. We look at the communication. That's one of the big mistakes we do. So that's just reacting to Mohonja. But for me, personally, I think when it comes to partners doing something together, politics will not help you. What the president says about what to do in your home, it will not help you at all, at all. What the villagers say, how the villagers say you have to do things will not help you at all, at all. Politics, what the pastor tells you, in fact, the pastors are the worst. How the pastor tells you to treat your wife, it is the wrong way to do it because he doesn't know you. So,
what is your point, Matasio?
So my point is this. My point is very simple, very simple. The roles are not the issue here. We have to understand the values that we have. How do you value your wife or partner or baby mama or whatever it is? How do you value her job? How do you value her hustle? Whether he or she's coming home with 10 shillings, but you know very well she has been sitting there the whole day trying to break 10 kilos or 50 or 100 kilos of stone, my friend. No, even if this guy says my back is aching, I understand what he has been doing because you understand the hustle. So the value, understanding, that's all it comes. And we know that, we value that one. We won't have this. Of course, I can buy a washing machine. Of course, I can have a maid to clean all that. It's not a problem. I can even come and pay 6 people to come in the house and even carry you from the shower to the bed. That I can do. But is that helping you?
Let me ask Godwin.
Yes, sir.
The question we are supposed to answer tonight, it's how do we create that balance? And very fundamental, African man has pointed out, it is for us to understand the value that you put against the person you have at home or the partner you are with. Is this your way of approaching this conversation, sir?
I want to agree with Matasi to some extent, because we are, there are things we usually say, we are men and that, but as as much as we are men, the gender unifies us. We are individual. You understand? So and with men, there's this tendency whereby you go out when you hang out with your boys, and everyone is trying to prove how serious they are at home, how they are the lions at home. So for you, you follow what other people are doing. You've been loving your wife or your spouse so well, you've been helping. Now you feel because you've been doing that, you've become less of a man. So you start now developing some funny character in the house, some funny behavior. Yet the very people who are teaching you that, when they go at home, they're very submissive. And they're but for them, because they want to feel when you're in that gathering, even they're men. Mimi, bibi yangu hizi niambia hivi. Nikinguruma kila mtu anakimbia kwa kona moja, But when you go there, it's totally the opposite. So you've been here in your relationship, you love your wife, you understand the work she's doing, you've been supporting her, but all of a sudden you start changing.
Mm-hmm.
You get? So that's one thing I usually disagree with, because it's a matter of understanding each other, because we are the two of you here. This is the kind of work this one does, and this one, when she's at home, this is the kind of work she does. Where can I help when I'm free, or where can we help each other? So now you don't have to leave helping whatever you can just because you feel now that is a woman role. And the same applies to women. You'll find them in their girls talk and stuff. They say, mimi pesa yangu ni yangu, ya mwanaume ndio yetu. So this lady has been helping you in maybe settling some bills and stuff, and then all of a sudden, hana pesa, she's working but no money. You understand? It's because of the influence that we get on the side. Because Amanda Kukana, the other ladies, when you're the man should be the one providing. So your guy loses a job, you're working, and the next thing you want, like, if you can't provide for me, then what are you doing here? I can't live with a broke man. But all along, this guy's been providing for you. But it's because of the things that you get from people surrounding you. And that's why I agree with Matasa. Like, it should be the values that you have, you as a couple, and the communication between you, so that you understand when this guy or this lady is in this position, these are kind of uplifter, and when or the vice versa. You understand? So that we don't take advice, some unnecessary advice from outside, and you try to incorporate in your family, because these are two separate entities, and whatever works for someone else can never work for you.
Great. Let me just ask Muhonja. Muhonja, be honest with us. We are 3 gentlemen on this panel. Let us understand from a woman's perspective. Do you guys lie to one another on how to destroy your relationships?
Being a good girlfriend.
Do you sit down and decide we are going to lie to one another? Baby girl, let nobody tell you something. You are a star. You are meant for greatness. Don't stay with a broke man. If he lost his job, kick him out. You can't be working yourself from 8 to 5, baby girl, and then you go home and the guy's there. He hasn't mopped. He hasn't done the dishes. He didn't prepare the kids for bed. Is it about what God is saying, individualistic approach to issues, or is it a crowd mentality that affects how people relate and trying to find balance in relationships, especially when it comes to chores allocation?
What Godi is trying to say is, in this present society, what you see is not what you get. I could be outside here saying, oh, me, I can't stay, I can't, me, I can't. But in real sense, I am the one who does that. Yeah. And yes, there are a couple of times that women can sit down and discuss their partners in a good way. Sometimes they discuss their partners in a bad way. It is very, very, very common. However, if you ask me, the number of times that women sit down to discuss broke men is higher than the number of times they discuss how to go about living with a broke man. For instance, I will explain. I know it does not make sense, but I will explain. For me, it is all about you showing me intention, showing me that you are working towards getting something to do. Life is very dynamic, Ellie. I think you and I have had this conversation a couple of times. You've seen it in my life myself. And you understand that one day you're here, the other day you're there. One day you're there, the other day you're here. And that is life, very dynamic. So it does not only apply to women, it does not only apply to girls, it applies to even men. And that is the nature of life. One day my boyfriend might be having a job, the next day he does not have a job. And it's okay for me to feel the heaviness of providing, because one, men, whether biblically or even in the African traditional culture, men are created to be providers and women are created to nurture. Those are two roles that are very clear in both religion and the African tradition. And African traditional practices, yeah, it's very clear. So for me, I do understand. For instance, my partner has lost his job. Yes, he can mourn. He can feel bad about it, because I know men have ego. So when something like that happens, it hurts their ego. And for them to even speak about it publicly, it hurts them. It breaks them. You'll find a man finding it very difficult to tell a fellow man, like Godi telling Ellie today, hey man, I lost my job. It's very hard. But for me, I'll call my female friends like Aki babes, or I'll quit her job. And then we laugh about it. And then we start blaming that person. And then I'm done. But for men, it's very difficult. And at that point, that is where men go wrong. Because now they start treating me as the woman, as an enemy. Yet I'm just trying to find out, what are you doing towards sustaining this family? Fine, you've lost a job. I don't, of course, people will start telling me, Monja, you're a queen. Yeah. Where you are an activist, you're a social activist, you're a feminist. They always rub that on my face. And yes, I'm a feminist. And I, as a feminist, I can stay with this person who has lost a job. Yes. There's a difference between lost a job and just a broke, lazy man who is just crying over self-pity. I can stay with this person who lost a job but is really working. If I see him applying for jobs left, right, and center, I see him go out of his way to go out of the house and then come back with even a packet of milk, I will respect that man because he's doing quite something.
Thank you, Muhonja. Question is then, why is it after they have lost their job? I'm talking in both aspects, okay? But I started with the male gender for specific reason, because you're a lady. So it would be ideal for you to respond. A man loses his job, all of a sudden they become the house help. Well, I'm not saying house helps have different job descriptions, that they are not human enough, but you degrade their level as being the head of the family to become a mere kijakazi. What happens? Why this transition?
This is what happens. The mentality you think that you performing these chores is degrading you. Number one, Ellie, if you are a bachelor, will you not wash your clothes? Will you not wash your house? Will you not cook for yourself? You will do that. You're just programmed to think in the patriarchal way, to think that everything, now that you married, everything should be done. Excuse me, that is work to me. And because you've lost work A and I'm doing the work A, please do the work B. I can't go and work myself there and it's not degrading you. Then if you think it's degrading you, then it means you degrade me as a woman as I do those particular jobs. And if that is how you're looking at it, then let me stay at home and raise our kids and do the house chores, and don't even tell me to look for a job. Let me just look beautiful. If I ask for money, give me that money. In fact, in excess. Buy me makeup, buy me clothes, buy me everything. Let me take care of the children. If that is what you think I should be doing.
I have a question.
African man, you have a question? I don't know if it's to me, but I hope not to me, because I never get to answer questions. Go ahead.
No, just to get us back on track. And I'll just go back to Mohonja. I like to have Mohonja around because She really reminds me that there are two different realities in this world. And I like to address her reality. In as much as I address her reality, I want to introduce to her also my reality with a question. You said that in the Bible, in the African culture which I belong to, I fight for a lot. It is very well defined that a man is a provider and the woman is the one to nurture. Yeah? That you stand with that philosophy, with that point. I am an African man. I struggle to disagree with it and prove it otherwise. So my question is, where does doing dishes come in between provider and nurture?
You want me to answer that?
That is your question. If you don't, you can ask some of your friends in the public to help you answer.
No, it's okay. I can handle you. I can handle you. So let's start from this part that you mentioned clearly that you are for African traditions, yes? And in the African tradition, I am for that also. And roles were clearly defined, yes? The job of the man was to go out and hunt or go out and look for anything, hunting and gathering, right from the age of the Egyptopithecus up to date.
Now,
Homo sapiens. Yes, that was the role of the man. Yeah, the role of a woman in this case was to nurture, like I said. And how do you nurture? There are very many ways of doing that. For example, when you marry me, it's up to me to work on us having a home. We can have a house, but not a home. So it's up to me, Nione. This husband of mine goes to work and he kills a whole bull. If I can eat this whole bull, I will not save enough. So we can eat half of this bull and then I can sell for other people, to sell the rest of the bull to other people. That is nurturing. Another thing is me giving birth to the children and teaching them the ways of the tribe, the ways of the culture, and teaching them also the roles, like as a woman, this is what you do. As a man, this is what you do. In that case. Number three, the other role of when you've gone hunting and you've come back home, you are tired. Yes, you are very tired. Yes, because you've been hunting. There were lions, there were thorns in the bushes, and all that. You expect to come home to a warm environment, a warm welcome. The house is clean, the house is smelling nice. I have bathed, I have my makeup on, the children are sleeping, or they even are looking. That is nature. That is nurturing. That is how we nurture, yes? And the roles are very clear in the African traditional setup. So in this case, there were situations where the hunter could get injured during the hunting. You want to tell me the hunter cannot even help in the house chores because of a hunter?
African man. I think Mulonja made her point, and she's having quite some struggle tonight. But she answered your question in her own perspective. Your response?
Yeah, she had not actually finished my question, but I can try to ask. I see Princess Ola here, Boniface Franchiku. I have a very simple question. If you want to uphold this principle and say, because I always oppose double standards. Okay, she's back. I was just waiting for you to finish because I'm still waiting to see in this principle of yours, where does doing dishes fall? Is it under nurturing or providing? That's the only thing I'm waiting for.
And I answered you, and I said that is part of nurturing. You can't cook and fail to do dishes.
Okay, good. So now, then we agree. If there is no any other agreement, if matters remaining constant, and you are in an African environment or with an African partner, it seems to be obvious that your wife will be doing dishes, or not? Where in my reality, it is not. In my reality, it is not.
It's not.
And now,
Mwanja didn't see that coming.
Then
right?
I go very well, I say, it's a question of a mindset. And you can come here and say, I want to use the African mindset and say that we are using nurturing and providers. And then again, not respect the fact that if I talk about African way of nurturing, it means I'm the one to do the dishes. I leave that question there. Final one. If we all earn, for example, if say me and you, we live together, yeah, we earn an average of $4,000. That would be like $500,000 Kenya shillings. That's enough to run a normal family, isn't it? How are we going to go about the course? And everybody has got 9 to 5, 8 to 5 o'clock hours. And everybody, you come together, you have your cost together, you are with $4,000 euros. So let's say every one of you earns 2,000, 100%. How are you going to go about it?
That is where we have jobs like being a house help. Yeah. That is why these specific jobs are created, because Matasi, I think today we are on the same page. I think I'm fighting with Godi only because I feel like you understand it is not automatic that a woman's job is to clean and cook. It is not automatic. It is how you guys relate. And my dad, I have seen my dad go to work and come back home and cook because my mom was not around, or my mom has gone for chama, or she has just gone to hang out with her friends. My dad would come home, make sure we've done our homework, clean, and then cook, and then all that, and then my mom would come. So it is not automatic that all jobs are meant for women, this cleaning and all that. That is why I still insist that if I am the one doing the 9 to 5 job, then please do the other side of the job, which is doing the house chores. And back to what you're saying, the 2000, that is why we have house helps. I think it is very important. This is where Ellie was asking how and where do we strike the balance. If we have 2000, this is where we employ a house help. Yes, it is very okay. It is very wrong to tell women that they need to work themselves up until they die, just to show that they are good women they are good traditional African women. No, it's not. Even us, even women, even men need help. That is what I keep advocating for, because I usually say, as a feminist, in as much as I am struggling and all the time empowering women, girls, and children, there is no way I'm going to release these empowered girls and women to a society of men who are not empowered, because that is doing zero work. And this starts from this conversation. We need to do away with the fact that the jobs that are meant this is a cleaning and all that. Gone are the days when we used to say women's places are in the kitchen. Yeah, gone are the days, because nowadays we take up jobs that even in the older days were considered strictly jobs for men. Yes, and in this case, trust me, if I am tired, in fact I am very moody when I'm tired, I can't come home and start cooking. I cannot, and I can't do anything if my heart is not there. So if we are both working 9 to 5, or we are doing the same job, please, let's look for a house help, because we have the money, like you said, 500,000 Kenyan shillings per month. Why should I not hire a house help? And we should do away with the mentality that a woman who hires a house help is a lazy woman. Because when we were growing up, I think most of us, even you men, usually had your parents talk to your sisters and cousins and nieces and go like, wait, you're just sitting there. Who will marry you? You can't even wash the dishes. Who will marry you? We need to strike a conversation where all roles. In my house, I have a daughter, by the way, and I'm also raising a niece, and I'm also raising a nephew. And there is nothing like these are jobs for the males. These are even for my partner and I. We don't have those things. If he is home, he will do everything. If I am home, I will do everything, and that's absolutely okay. And that is where we should strike the balance from the mentality point of view. Don't look at it like this is a woman's job, and I should not look at it like, okay, the man he has to wake up and provide. If he's not, then he's not a man enough. No, let's sit down and strike this conversation. Hey, can we agree on this? I am not a woman who belongs to the kitchen. I love cooking, but ukinionyesha I belong to the kitchen, hey, I will fold my legs and my arms and sit there waiting for you. You will come back home to a very clean house that has no food until we sit down and discuss and say, hey, we have no gender roles here. Everyone can cook, everyone can wash, everyone can go to work, period.
Let me just close it.
You want to say something, Matasi? Because I see Gordon is with us, but I'm wondering if he's actually in the show or he's watching us. One of that could be right.
Ellie, I'm here.
Okay, you are still. I thought you joined the military.
No, I'm listening to Mwanja. The only problem is KPLT has decided to do that thing, so I'm on my reserve, so I'm here, maybe not for so long.
Okay. We know you're not a 1 hour guy. It's okay. You can do it 20 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I might have missed something in between, but I just want to pick up from where Mwanja stopped. And I want to bring it this point because I believe this whole conversation was inspired by a conversation from some guy who said he used to work. By then, the wife was not working. So now he's working from home. The wife has gotten an unpaid internship. So the wife leaves for the unpaid internship. It is the guy who's working at home. Remember, he's not just at home, he's working. It's only that the office shifted to home. He's the one who's supposed to provide for the family, including fare for the wife who is going for the unpaid internship. But now the lady comes back home. The next thing, she finds the house in a mess, and you're like, you've been home. Why are stuff not in good place? Why are things dirty? Why are the utensils where I left them? And it's not like the guy was just seated there, and that's why I try to bring.
Oh, I think now his reserve ran out. But for those who have been following the conversation, you understand where we left it at. And the idea here is the gentleman was being asked, why is it nimetoka kwa nyumba na hujasongesha sufuria? Ni nini unafanya, useless man, and you're going for a unpaid internship? African man, you have been in the diaspora for quite some time now. I would say you have a lot of experience living in diaspora. What picture can you paint for us when it comes to issues to do with equality and equity? And it's interesting because I see Njekita actually mentions this, and this is where our conversation was headed. Equality and equity, where do those two things collide or coincide?
Equality and equity goes hand in hand. We make them collide because of our mindset. And how do we shift our mindset? We get the wrong priorities. I'll just get to one thing. We talk a lot about putting food on the table. That's the first thing, providing. When it comes for providing, it's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You understand? Whether you have to wash toilets, that's what you have to do for your kids to eat. Okay?
Yeah.
That is like work. So what I want to say is we have to put some three things in order. There is job. That's like what you have to do. It is career, what you want to be, and you can work on it. I can say I'm a teacher. You are a nurse. You are a whatever. That is not only bringing food on the table. That's your identity, your dignity, your whatever. And then there is cause. These are also just things that if you can have a way not to do them, get somebody else to do them if you can, because a waste of time. For me, doing dishes is a waste of time. If I have to do dishes for 1 hour, and I can work out there for the same 1 hour, I get 1,000 shillings. And the dishes in the house, where I gonna get 1,000 shillings? I can get somebody, I give them 100, they do the dishes, and I go work for 1,000. You understand? So
you keep 900 for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this idea of thinking, because when a man loses his job, you think it's a job. It is a career. It is his dignity. It is his manhood. So don't try to replace that with the chores of home. You tell me Uhuru Kenyatta, our president, loses job, alafu nasikia anagombana na bibi yake kwa sababu akataa kuosha vyombo. You think that is something normal? No. So that is why I want to say, my sister,
never thought of it that way.
As much as we are trying to look at, because these things have to be in order. At every moment, you will have to work on your career if you choose to. At every moment, you'll have to do some job because you have to do what you have to do. And again, at every moment, you'll have to do some cause. First of all, make sure that the cause don't disturb your job and career. And then again, come and say, I don't want to have a job, I want to have a career. It is much more better for economical lifestyle. Then you are done. So the only problem we end up sometimes is you are fighting with your mom or your partner, even if it's a lady, she's a doctor, she has left home, she's been sitting the whole day looking for jobs, and you're coming home as a man complaining about the dishes. You are telling somebody, you are mixing somebody's dignity and somebody's cause. That's where the disrespect comes in. Because you do not value what she does. You think what she does, you compare what she does or he does to cause. But what she does is a career. You cannot compare a career to a cause. So that is, for me, my opinion is, at the end of the day, let's put our values right, our norms correct, and then separate between jobs, cause, and career. I finish.
Muhonja,
Wonja, your mic is yours.
you also decided to be called Muhonja African, and this is the African man. What do you have to say
Wonja
in
Africa, yeah,
Imagine,
come closer.
imagine.
Come closer, my sister. Come closer.
African man,
Imagine,
as say, is a
surprisingly.
very interesting aspect on the same. Muhonja, what is your feeling about this whole idea? Is it time we actually address the issue of toxic masculinity against toxic feminism and find a way that men and women can create a balance and thereafter create an environment that it doesn't matter the kind of work you do, we can always find something that fits within our family time and create time that we can value as family beside the chores and the work life?
Yeah. Well, I do not think there's anything called toxic femininity or toxic masculinity at all. We just have toxic mentality. That's it. That's it. And it's high time we sat down and called out all these toxic beliefs, virtues that are way past our era right now. Yeah. And I started by asking you, Ellie, right now, if you were in whichever country you are right now and you left your family in Kenya and you are hungry, you would go to the kitchen and cook. And after cooking, you will know if I don't wash these dishes, they will pile up. And when they pile up, I will fail to wash them. And when I fail to wash them, I will need to pay someone. And right now, I'm trying to stabilize myself in this country, so I can't afford to pay another someone. So what do I do? The best thing I can do is wash the dishes, cook, and all that. So that means there's nothing like this is a job that is specifically for women. This is a job specifically for men. There's nothing like that. That's a mentality and a mentality that is toxic in that case. So we need to sit down and call out every behavior. And I strongly believe in positive messaging. I don't believe in just calling out people and say, hey, you're a bad person, you're toxic and all that. We had this conversation the other time and we were just laughing about how everyone misuses the word toxic. Yeah. And for me, if we find a problem, like in this case, we have a problem that is toxic mentality. And the fact that people might think working from home is not work. I think you hosted me some time back when I was telling you I was dating a doctor and he got me a BMW and all that. And then this is one thing that I failed to mention that gets here today on this topic, that he felt like the fact that I do music, I was not supposed to get tired. So I would go do my music, come back home, and then I'm tired. I'm just relaxing and breathing from everything because music drains you mentally, spiritually, physically, everywhere. And I'm so tired. I just want to just heave a sigh of relief and just breathe. And because kwa gig zetu we eat there, I do not even have the energy to come back home and cook. And he called me lazy. And I was like, you know what? Me, I don't fight. If you think I'm lazy, that's perfect. If you think I'm hardworking, because that's perfect. That's whatever you think about me is none of my business. But you see, for him, he felt like the fact that he was always the doctor on call, he was working so hard. And the fact that my job entails me working with hours, I can be here for 2 hours, I can be here for 5 hours, I can be here. He felt like mine was not a job in itself. And in this case, that is a mentality. A job is a job. Whether I am just teaching online, I'm teaching students from Germany, from USA, and it takes me 3 minutes and I get paid. I am getting paid for my experience. I have studied music, I have practiced music, I still do music. So I'm being paid for that. So if I tell you I am tired, I am tired. And the same way African man is saying, I should not invalidate the fact that you go outside from 9 to 5 and make you feel like, what are you telling me? Yours is a white collar job. No, we should respect the fact that everyone has their own job, whether you're working from home or you're working from wherever. The only bone of contention here is when it comes to doing all these other things, let's cooperate, let's work together. Oh, baby, I did the dishes yesterday in as much as I was tired. Oh, then he says, oh, sawa, let me do the cooking today. Like that, you will live very peacefully. After that, kazi za wa mama. Or you'll just start disappearing and going to drink with Godi and coming back in the morning saying KPLC did that thing,
Godi, you seem to be very toxic. But talking of toxicity, how about you guys get to listen in for a few seconds before we actually make our conclusive remarks? Let's take a listen.
I access his photos, access his Play Store activity. So when I meet the brothers the following day, they are surprised I'm now talking about what they think they know. Now, she accused me of giving her HIV and AIDS.
Well, that's the series we are running this whole month on toxic relationships. So catch it this Sunday on Against All Odds from 9:30 p.m. being hosted by one Rinari. Wanjiku, you had asked here a question and Matasio has decided he will not sleep without answering it. So he responds by saying, because Wanjiku Kagwa says, Mr. Kagwa, what makes you think Uhuru Kenyatta is special than any of us? And well, Kagwa had an answer and he says, Wanjiku Kagwa, sio Kagwa, wewe ni Kagwa, yeye ni Kagwe. Okay. Is this a family union? Mutuambie. So that I don't misuse people's names here. It's Kagwi. Unaona umemwita Kagwa tayari, ushamurename. It's all right. Wanjiku, Uhuru Kenyatta is the different for me. Uhuru Kenyatta is different from me because he is the president and I'm a civil servant. In this case, we have different responsibilities. Well. That is from Mr. Kagwa, African man, to Kagwi, Wanjiku. Shots fired. Boom, boom. Tumalize kipindi. As we conclude, where do we then create room for all of us to feel, 1, we are wanted, 2, we are needed, and 3, we are valued? Godwin. Okay, you'll come last. We'll come last, Kagwa. Yes, Godwin.
Yeah, so my whole take home for tonight is it is just about the two of you having mutual communication on how do you want to make your life easier, and removing that barrier of this feminine job, this is a masculine job. You understand? If you're a lady and in a position to provide, please do. If you're a guy and you can handle house chores, please do, without having less of a man. And as I said earlier, this is mostly informed by the kind of groups that we keep around us. You guys, KPLC.
I think KPLC has decided this man is not going to be part of this conversation because KPLC says, Sisi ndio tuko. It's all right. Kagwa.
I know.
Yes. I think I have time for the closing remarks.
Yeah. You want to feel wanted, needed, or rather, you also want to feel appreciated in that union. Go ahead, sir.
I will just close I'll give my closing remarks and also agree with Godwin because I think you're on the same line that at the end of the day, it is the two of you. So don't lose focus. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're talking about people be fighting about dishes and you have a dishwasher. So you don't have that problem. So you don't have a dishes problem. You don't have it clearly. So you don't have a problem. So the two of you may have another problem. So for me, I agree with that. But this one is for the public. And I think this one, Muhonje will kill me after that. To achieve this one, first of all, you have to separate things that can intoxicate your journey of partnership, is it marriage or whatever. Try to avoid unnecessary information, deviating information, contradicting information. So when it comes to you and your partner, there are a number of people you should not listen to, not at all. And that's the advice I'll give. First of all, don't listen to any politicians about your relationship. They don't have the best. The second one, don't listen to religious leaders. Not spiritual people, two different. Religious leaders.
Yes.
I'm not talking about spiritual people, pastors, priests, whatever. Don't. You understand? The closest you can get, let them give you the rings and let them say what puts God together. Let no man put asunder, and have your hope and faith and bank on it. That's the only thing you need from them. The rest, Don't listen to them when it comes to your partnership. Another one, do not listen to motivational speakers when it comes to relationships. They are the wrong people. Because they are just trying to share their experiences. They just want to share the experiences and try to make you live like them. And the last one, do not listen to any activist. Be
like
it
Mwanja.
feminist. Let me tell the truth. Be it a feminist. Be it an activist. Be it an animal activist. Do not listen. There is nothing to do with the relationship.
So who will help these people then, Matasio?
I'm coming there. So, these people do not help. These are people who can help other things. They're not here to help two people. These are a president, a politician can help a whole community where there's politics, you vote for who. They are not going to come and they don't even have the sense to talk about a man and a woman. They don't. Because these are two individuals. You better even look for a doctor who can even tell you, please don't. So those two people, politicians, pastors, motivational speakers, and activists, do not listen to them at all. I am done.
Okay. Mwanja, do you want us to manage the story? Imeishia hapo. Do you have anything further?
Wacha tumalizie hapo, lakini no, feminists are, I don't know, Ellie, I think you should one day come up with a topic of feminism, because people misunderstand this, and then I will freely come and speak about it. People like Matasio don't understand, but I will be glad to do that.
Awesome. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Leo Wanjiku amesema hakuachili Matasio. So after this, go back to the comment section and try and convince Wanjiku why your idea is better than what she has bought into. But then again, thank you so much, guys, for the contribution in the comment section. You have been very helpful. You have made this conversation rich, and we hope that we are able to answer some of the questions, if not all of them. And we continue with these conversations come next week, because we started it last Friday when we talked about, the current challenges we are facing in the new parenting system, whereby, children are exposed to so much that by the time you get to them, you are not able to do anything. And, these people of KPLC, they have also gone to where Mwanja is, but it's okay. That's the only time I discover she's as dark as chocolate, but that's who she is. And, we are now here discussing further about how to create work-life balance. And we will continue with this series next week right here on Art in Heart. Until then, we wish you a great evening. And on behalf of everyone that made this conversation rich and more involving, I want to say a big thank you and see you when you see us. My name is Likuyani Eli, and that is, of course, Matasio Kagwa. Until next week, see you then. Good night.
See you then.
Should I say God bless? Yes. God bless you guys.
Yes, God.